Right then, good afternoon, everyone. I said on my community earlier that I wasn't going to have time to do a video till Wednesday. I forgot it was the 5v5 and Bivol Beterbiev presser today, and I've just watched that, so I couldn't wait longer. I couldn't leave this till Wednesday. We've got to do this now. We'll cover a few things first. I'm reading off the laptop because I'll just forget stuff otherwise. Started off today, I saw on my feed sort of around lunchtime that very sadly we'd lost Willie Limon, the former British and European lightweight champion, died today at the age of 45. So our hearts go out to his family, and it's a sad loss. There's no age at 45. So, you know, our hearts go out to his family and everyone around him. So, yeah, sad news. One thing that came out a couple of weeks ago that no one really seems to have talked about, and this is not major news, but I watched an interview with Matthew Hatton, and Matthew Hatton and Campbell Hatton have split, so that team's sort of gone. In the interview, Matthew Hatton said they've took it as far as they were going to go. I suppose Matthew felt he couldn't offer any more, so they've split. So they've parted companies amicably, obviously. But yeah, a little bit of news on Campbell Hatton. So a good thing. I think that's a good move by both, and a good thing for Campbell Hatton. So there's that. From the weekend, let's just cover Zelfa Barrett against Jordan Gill. From very early on in that fight, Zelfa Barrett looked the bigger, stronger man. Jordan Gill, when he coming off the win of the Conlon fight, when he fought Conlon, he used a very tactic really well. He used his high guard really well and sort of let Conlon unload his shots, and it would leave him in position to land his own shots. And those tactics ultimately won him the fight. The problem with when you use a high guard in front, almost like a peekaboo, when the shots come through the face, you cover completely covering the face. As soon as a shot has landed and you've took it on those gloves, the sort of natural reaction, the instinct is to drop those gloves so you can see your opponent again, so you can clear your vision again. And every time he did that, Zelfa Barrett threw like twos and threes. He doubled and tripled the jab. And he'd done it with a right hand a couple of times. So every time that Jordan Gill sort of come back from behind the peekaboo almost, he took the second and third after that. So it didn't really work out well, and he sort of changed that early on because he, like I said, he got caught with a few right hands, and every time Barrett doubled and tripled the jab, he would land with the seconds and thirds. So Jordan Gill looked still good, though. He still looked like he had some left. It just seemed a bit like Barrett was just quicker, sharper, bigger, stronger. And Jordan Gill was guilty of sort of throwing too many single shots or just a jab and a follow-up and nothing after that, where Barrett would load the twos and threes, throw the combinations well, showed really good footwork. He's a really classy mover, really good boxing ability. And ultimately, he hurt Gill with a body shot, I think the fourth. He didn't drop him, but you could see the effect it had. And and Conor Wright was on the wall then. And then sort of a two where he got knocked down with a body shot again later on and then stopped with a body shot in the end. But Jordan Gill still looked good, though. He didn't look finished at all. He was just in there with someone who was quicker, sharper, had better volume and used his volume a lot better than Gill, and ran out a winner. Yeah, good performance by Barrett as well. So quite an enjoyable fight, that. Enjoyed that. Right then, on to the meat and potatoes. June the 1st, Beterbiev versus Bivol, the absolute super fight that some of us thought we'd never get to see. And as they all do up on the stage, we have to give thanks to Turki Al-Sheikh, because without him, we just wouldn't have this resurgence and this kind of revolution in boxing and how we're getting our cards and the fights that are getting made. So whatever you say, this is not happening without Saudi, without Turki Al-Sheikh. So, you know, as a boxing fan, all I can do is thank God for the man. So, you know, first of all, I'm sure you'll notice, I'm sure you'll watched it. The artwork in the kind of like the blue filter, the Game of Thrones type artwork was just outstanding. All the production for all these Saudi shows have been off the chart, better than anything we've seen before. But yeah, that was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Beterbiev, by the way, one thing that doesn't look good is they've created an undisputed belt, which kind of looked awful, a lot of double WWE type affair, didn't it? That was terrible. But Bivol Beterbiev, these two don't say a lot. They really are consummate professionals. I don't know how much is down to the language barrier, especially on Beterbiev's side. Bivol spoke a bit more. They picked up on something. There was Ade and Barry Jones, and they picked up on something because when asked like what the outcome would be, Beterbiev said, "Ask him, he knows." And not Barry Jones, not Ade. I always forget his name. You know what I mean? You watched it. But he said, "Oh, mate, that has some deeper meaning. Maybe there was they'd sparred and maybe Beterbiev had him on the floor, something like that." I kind of don't read that into that. I just think he just means that as, yeah, you know what happened type thing. I may be wrong. But, yeah, they don't say a lot. Consummate professionals. I must say, Artur Beterbiev, 40 years old, he could pass for 30 comfortably, doesn't he? He's even young in the face. You know, I know we had all the stuff last time surrounding his raised levels of HGH and stuff like that. But is it just good living, good diet, good genetics? Who knows? But yeah, he could pass for a 30-year-old. And I know aesthetics don't account for much in the ring, but he does look good. He looks superb, doesn't he? As Bivol does, but Bivol being a younger man. I'm not going to go into predictions and stuff like that and cover the fight. We'll do that nearer the time. This is just to cover the presser. But yeah, so them two don't say much. They don't have to. The caliber of the fighters they are, they don't need to say anything. They can stand there completely mute and that will entertain me because this is, you know, I don't like the old euphemisms and that, but this really is a fight for the ages. This is as good as anything you're likely to see or going to see or have ever seen, I would think. Two of the absolute elite level, tier one, absolute top of the line fighters in this. So I'm sure you're all licking your lips as much as I am at this. So we look forward to that. And then we got the unveiling of the 5v5, didn't we? Now, a lot of these we could pick. A lot of these we sort of knew beforehand. Daniel Dubois v. Flip Hrgovic, we kind of knew that, didn't we? I'd made a brief video on that before, so we kind of expected that one. Ray Ford v. Nick Ball, really good fight. I'm a big Nick Ball fan. You know that. I've spoken about that before. Ray Ford's a good fight, though. Really good fight. Hamza Shiraz versus Austin Williams. Craig Richards versus Willie Hutchinson. Gill Zhang versus Deontay Wilder. This is another one we sort of speculated on. We'd heard rumours, and I made a brief video on that. I knew it was Deontay Wilder when I saw an AP on the wrist. There's not many fighters in the world who, you know, you're elite level if you're buying an AP, aren't you? But, so yeah, we knew that one. But yeah, I mean, we've not known anything like it, have we, really? Since, you know, said before, been involved and watching boxing for 35 years, but these cards we're getting now have just taken the game to another level, haven't they? And I'm sure people will find stuff to criticise, but just enjoy this while this is here. Enjoy this while we're getting this, because this is a time we've never had and are probably not likely to have if Turkey kind of gets bored. But being the sort of extreme boxing fan that he certainly seems to be, this could run and run because they've got money to burn, haven't they? And someone who's a genuine fan of something, you don't usually fall out of complete love for that thing. So, you know, we can expect this to carry on for a while. And then they showed the promo. And there's been some great promos before, but this was the best. I don't know if many of you watched the Gentleman series on Netflix. I was a huge fan of the film, and the Netflix series is, I think it might be produced by Guy Ritchie. Really, really good. And this was very in the mold of a Guy Ritchie production. This was very in the mold of that sort of, that style of British gangster genre sort of stuff. And this was brilliant. It really was brilliant. So that was a joy. I'm going to go watch that again, I think, because that was great. So all in all, what do you say? We've just got a great time of boxing. And this coming, 2 weeks after Undisputed Heavyweight Championship? And then we get this. I mean, we're getting a feast, aren't we? We're getting an absolute feast. We've had moments of famine in our sport, but this, I watched this and I thought, this is just out of this world. What a card. What a card. You know, you'll be sitting there and you'll be watching. I don't know what's running order these will come in. I would imagine Flip Hrgovic, Daniel Dubois, and Gill Zhang Deontay Wilder will be at they will be chief supports. So I'd expect that. But, you know, whichever one of those chief supports come first, that's going to feel like a main event. And then we got what will feel another main event in the sort of the penultimate chief support. And then we get Bivol v. Beterbiev. I mean, Absolutely outrageous. Yeah, that was it. Just wanted to cover that. I'm sure most of you guys watched it. Let me know what you think. Absolutely amazing. We'll go through these fights individually for the 5v5 in the build-up. We'll cover these individually. But yeah, that's it. I'm sorry there hasn't been much content in the last week. Work has been overloaded. I moved house recently. I've got loads of sort of work to do and projects to do. So my time's been taken up. So I apologise for the lack of content. I thank you all for sticking with me. I thank you all for the new subscribers, the likes, and the good comments. There was a few out there. A couple of guys, Wizard Sleeves, Pringle Lover. And as Pringle Lover mentioned in one of his comments, he said, I don't always agree with you, but, and was very complimentary, actually. And listen, I don't search for people to agree. This sport is very subjective, as we know, so we can disagree. But let's be intelligent about disagreement. Let's be polite about disagreements. We can do that, and that's absolutely fine. But there'll be more content to come this week, I'm sure. That was it. I'll see you soon. I'm out.